Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking on a truly epic story, piecing together a single cultural narrative that stretches back an incredible 5,000 years. It's a huge challenge, right? How in the world do you condense millennia of art, architecture, and living tradition into just a few minutes? Well, the only way to do it is to find the threads that connect it all.
You have to start at the very beginning, with a civilization that wasn't just old, but was one of the world's first to really master the blueprint for urban life.
Okay, so our story kicks off more than 4,000 years ago deep in the Indus Valley. This is where a remarkably sophisticated culture didn't just get by, it absolutely thrived, laying down the groundwork for so much of what came later.
When you look at the evidence here, it just paints this incredible picture. I mean, at Harappa, you've got these massive public granaries. That suggests serious central planning. Mohenjo-Daro gives us the famous Great Bath, which points to a rich, ritualistic life. And get this, Lothal had a massive dockyard. That proves it was a major hub for trade. These were not just villages. They were complex, highly organized cities. But what's truly revolutionary is what they chose not to build. You see, unlike Egypt or Mesopotamia at the time, there are no giant palaces for kings or monumental temples. Instead, all the focus was on the community, things like orderly cities on a grid and some of the most advanced public drainage systems of the ancient world. This was a culture built around civic life, not just for powerful rulers.
All right, let's fast forward a bit. As we enter this new era of powerful empires, we see art and architecture get a whole new job to broadcast really bold ideas about faith, power, and what it means to be a state.
A perfect example of this? The Ashokan Pillar. Emperor Ashoka put these things, some of them 40 feet tall, carved from a single piece of stone, all across his empire. But they weren't just about showing off his power. No, they were like massive public sermons carved in stone, inscribed with his new moral code for everyone to read.
And the legacy of these pillars is just profound. The top part, the capital, from the pillar at Sarnath, with its 4 lions, that became the national emblem of modern India. And right below it, for all time, are the words Satyameva Jayate, truth alone triumphs, an ancient ethical message that became a modern national motto. Just incredible.
This period also shows us that art wasn't this one single thing. It was a dynamic conversation. So in Gandhara, you can clearly see the Greco-Roman influence, creating these stunningly realistic, almost Apollo-like figures of the Buddha. But at the exact same time, schools like Mathura and Amravati were developing their own deeply indigenous styles. It wasn't one culture taking over, it was this vibrant exchange of ideas.
Now, the next major chapter is all about synthesis. It's about blending. With the arrival of Islamic traditions, the old styles weren't just wiped away. No, instead, they merged, they fused, creating this stunningly beautiful and entirely new architectural language.
A key element you see everywhere in this new style is the arabesque. So art with human or animal figures gives way to these intricate, flowing, geometric, and floral patterns. And you notice how the lines are continuous, how they just keep flowing? They were meant to symbolize these really profound concepts, like the unity and infinite nature of God. It's a really striking shift in artistry.
Another game-changing innovation was the Charbagh Garden. It's this Persian layout that basically transformed the grounds of tombs and palaces. It uses water channels to divide a square space into 4 perfect, identical parts. The whole point was to build an earthly vision of paradise.
You can literally read the story of the changing times in the stone itself. The Khilji dynasty, they used this beautiful, ornate, red stone. But just a few decades later, the Tughlaqs switched to a much starker gray stone and these thick, sloping batter walls. The focus clearly shifted from decoration to defense. It tells you this was a dynasty concerned with strength and hunkering down.
But, grand monuments and royal tombs, that's only half the story, isn't it? To really get the full picture of a culture, you have to look at the traditions of its people, the art that captures the real rhythm and stories of everyday life.
And this is just scratching the surface of an absolute ocean of tradition. You've got heroic ballads in Maharashtra, you've got lethal martial arts in Manipur, and these intricate whirly paintings that use simple shapes to celebrate community life. Every single tradition is unique, and altogether they form the living, breathing heart of India's cultural identity.
And this incredible story, well, it's not locked away in the past. It's a living legacy, one that's recognized today as a true treasure, not just for India, but for the entire world.
And that global recognition, it's official. UNESCO has designated 37 sites all across India as having outstanding universal value. That means each one, from ancient ruins to stunning natural wonders, is recognized as a vital piece of the human story, a treasure for all of humanity.
And this exchange has been happening forever. For more than 2,000 years, you see this steady stream of visitors, Greek ambassadors, Chinese pilgrims, Persian scholars, all making the long journey to India. And lucky for us, they left behind these incredibly detailed accounts, giving us an amazing window into how the world saw this culture.
So the story is always being written. It's a continuous thread, stretching all the way from those mysterious ancient seals of Harappa to the national motto on an Ashokan pillar to today's tags that protect local crafts. The great theme has always been synthesis, right? Blending the old with the new. Which just leaves us to wonder, what's next? What new ideas will it absorb, and what will its next great synthesis look like?